this is what we're going to cut. We're going to go for 92% power on the laser because it's 5mm acrylic. The white acrylic has a powdery substance in it which makes it opaque, and that powdery substance increases the need for a higher temperature. Clear acrylic would cut at a lower temperature. It's got a CO2 tube in the back here, which is a combination of gases, well, specific gases, that I think there's quite a large quantity of freon in there, which they package, and when heated, when there's an electrical charge, produces the beam that comes out the side. The beam always comes out the same place, and then there's a series of polished optics that sit in the corner there, producing a sort of C-shaped. Then the beam comes out, bounces through the optic here, and is focused by a lens into what is effectively that red dot there. The red dot's just an LED laser, which means it's just a colored beam. It's not the actual cutting point. The laser is totally transparent. There's two sort of options for a laser. You can either have servo motors or stepper motors, which are sort of the two big black and white camps of the laser world, or of the CNC world. Everyone votes. Everyone who has stepper motors declares them the best, and everyone who has servo motors declares them the best. And the one is based on sort of step geometry, so it turns from one calibration to another and it knows exactly where it is. Whereas servo geometry is about running between 2 points, so it's constantly pulsing information back to the computer or back to the server, which is then telling it, okay, it's gone so far, because it knows that it has travelled to that point.
Which camp are you in?
We're split between two camps, because we've got the larger machines out there, which are all stepper based, and this is servo based. So it's a smaller, faster motor. You can get much quicker speed. That's why when you see it travel, it moves very quickly between. The stepper motors are much more solid, and better generally for running large components on.
So which camp are you in at?
I'm confused
well,
now.
aren't you?
Yeah, I'm confused now. Well, I'm not in any camp. Tobie's in the stepper camp.
Is he in the stepper camp?
But you're saying steppers are good for big things, and I use them in small things. So
You use them in small things?
well, these are quite small, aren't they? These objects. These are all stepper motors.
Well, they're all going to be stepper motors.
Yeah.
It depends. I think it depends on reliability and repeatability.
Steppers must be easier to control.
They are. I think they are easier to control, but you don't get the speed out of them. If you watch the beam really closely, you can see it pulses sometimes, and if it flashes yellow, then it's just cutting the tape, because it produces a different chemical which gives you slight yellow light. If it's only cutting the acrylic, it tends to pulse sort of white-green color and then if it appears to be slightly blue, it's because it's touching the metal. It's after a while that you spend staring at the beam that you start to see the difference in color, and that's the only way in opaque material that you can see that it's cutting through to the right depth. It's now cutting out the final profile, so it's just going to cut out the large. You can start to see the pattern of all the components that have cut out, and it's now just doing the final pass, which will cut out the ring components. That's one of the largest discs you've sent down.
Yeah, it's big. It's bigger than I thought.
Do you think it was small?
Yes.
Is that about the size you were thinking?
Yes, it's perfect.
That one is bigger than that one. Is it?
Yeah. And then there's a sheet, there's a metal drum, but these are kind of, these are the screws going to there, and there's a metal that goes on the top. So this doesn't move, see, actually the inside
Moves.
It's got all these aluminium tubes that you can put things in.
That move at the same time.
Yeah, they affix to it on the bottom, and they come out the top. So that's why that's got
all those.
that weird.
Okay, so it comes out through there.
Yeah, so one position is straight up, and then one is at rotated at 45 degrees, which is why you end up with these funny shapes.
So it's a hedgehog cake.
Yes.